On average, you speak 7,000 words a day. Some of us speak 16,000. We talk to fill the silence. We talk to defend our egos. We talk because we're terrified of what we might hear if we actually stopped. Last month, I did something that felt like social suicide. I stopped. No talking, no whispering, no 30 days of absolute silence. What I discovered wasn't just peace. It was a brutal realization about how much of our lives and our power we leak through our mouths. If you feel exhausted, misunderstood, or stuck, you don't need more advice. You need the protocol.
Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Nature hath given men one tongue, but 2 ears, that we may hear from others twice as much as we speak." We've flipped that ratio. We live in an era of the loudest wins. We feel the need to narrate our lives on Instagram, to justify our mistakes to our bosses, and to vent our frustrations to anyone who will listen. But here's the Stoic truth. Every time you complain, you surrender. Every time you brag, you become fragile. Your energy is like water in a bucket. Every unnecessary word is a hole in that bucket. By the end of the day, you're bone dry, wondering why you have no willpower left to change your life. I started day 1 thinking this would be a reset. By day 3, I realized it was a war.
The first 10 days were physical. My throat literally ached from the suppressed urge to comment. I'd see something annoying, a dish left in the sink, a slow driver, and my brain would scream for a sarcastic remark. But there was nowhere for the remark to go. This is what the Stoics call prohairesis, the power of choice. Usually, an event happens and we react instantly. Event, someone insults you. Reaction, you snap back. In silence, that bridge is blown up. You feel the anger rise, it reaches your lips, and it dies there. For the first time, I wasn't a slave to my impulses. I was the observer. I realized 90% of what I usually said was just noise designed to make me feel important. Without words, my ego began to starve.
This is where it got weird. I had to navigate the world with a notepad and a pen. People's reactions told me more about them than me. When people realized I wouldn't speak, they got uncomfortable. They started talking more. They'd tell me their life stories, their secrets, their insecurities. Because I was a void, they tried to fill me. I realized that most people aren't listening to you. They're just waiting for their turn to speak. By being the silent rock, I became the most powerful person in every room, not because I controlled them, but because I was the only one who controlled myself.
By week 3, the external world went quiet, but the internal world got deafening. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." He lied, at least at first. When you stop talking, you finally hear the roommate in your head, the critic, the one who tells you you're not doing enough, that you're failing, that you're lonely. Most people use noise to drown this voice out. They put on a podcast while they shower. They call a friend while they drive. They talk to avoid themselves. In the silence, I had to sit with that critic. I had to look at my regrets without the ability to explain them away to a friend. This is the dark night of the protocol. It's where most people quit. But if you stay, if you refuse to blink, the critic eventually runs out of things to say. And then you find the deep stillness.
Day 30 arrived. I was allowed to speak. Do you know what my first word was? Nothing. I didn't want to break it. I discovered that silence isn't the absence of communication, it is the highest form of it. Here is the takeaway for you watching this. You don't need to go 30 days, but you do need to start the silent protocol in your daily life. The 3-second rule. Before you respond to an insult or a brag, wait 3 seconds. Let the impulse die. Voluntary silence. Spend 1 hour every morning without a single device or word. Stop justifying. If you're right, you don't need to shout. If you're wrong, silence is the best teacher. The world is loud. It wants your attention, your reaction, and your peace. Don't give it. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, said, "Better to trip with the feet than with the tongue." Your words are your currency. Stop spending them like a billionaire if you're living in spiritual poverty.
Tomorrow, try this. Speak half as much as you did today. Watch how people look at you. Feel the energy stay inside your body instead of leaking out. You'll find that when you speak less, your words start to carry the weight of mountains. If this reached you at the right time, leave a comment with just one word: silent. It lets me know who made it to the end. Subscribe if you're ready to master the mind. And remember, the loudest person in the room is often the weakest. The strongest is the one who doesn't need to be heard at all.